Spoiler alert, you're going to hear me say I love it. Hello everyone and welcome to Crafting with Delonda. It's me again, Delonda, and thank you so much for joining me today. In today's tutorial, we will be sublimating a PYD Life pet bowl. Now, during the process of this tutorial, you may hear me refer to this as a dog bowl. That is because we have a dog and I kept calling this a dog bowl. PYD Life refers to this as a pet bowl. If you don't have a dog, but you do have a family pet, you will probably call this a pet bowl also. Now, I will be using the new PYD Life Sublimation Oven. I'm going to already tell you, I've already fallen in love with this. It doesn't take away the love that I have for the previous one, but I love it. I absolutely love it. It's very easy to use. We will get further into that as we go along. If you find this tutorial helpful, please consider liking the video, subscribing to my channel, and turning on the bell for notifications because I do upload new content every single week. Now, without further ado, let's get started. The materials that I use for this project include the new PYD Life Sublimation Oven. I used the silicone glove that came along with the sublimation oven. I used the 64-ounce sublimation pet bowl from PYD Life. I used shrink wrap that is 6 by 13. You will need this specific size in order to sublimate that pet bowl. I used the PYD Life brand of heat resistant tape. I used sublimation ink, which is the Hippo brand. I used sublimation paper, which was the A-Sub 8.5 by 14 paper. I used my sublimation printer, which is an Epson EcoTank 2760. I used this Cricut heat resistant mat. I used the Cricut 12 by 24 inch standard grip mat, and I used the PYD Life heat gun. Okay, so without further ado, let's head over to Cricut Design Space so that I can show you how I measured my design to be placed on the pet bowl. I'm in Cricut Design Space and I am connected to my Cricut Maker. The first thing I'm going to do is grab a shape, going to grab a rectangle, and I am going to unlock it and resize it to a width of 6.35 and a height of 3.0. The reason why I'm doing that is because when I measured all the way around the dog bowl, it measured at 25.4 inches, and 25.4 divided by 4 gives me a width of 6.35. So I'm going to make 4 rectangles that are 6.35 in width. Okay, so now that I have this rectangle, I am going to change the color of it to white, and I'm going to duplicate it one more time for now. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is upload the image of Milo that I intend to use. It is this image right here, and I am going to resize it so that it fits nicely inside this rectangle. Okay, and I am going to grab a text box and I'm just going to type his name, and I'm going to change the font to one that is called Big Yummy, and I downloaded that font from Creative Fabrica. It's called Big Yummy. Okay, and I am going to unlock the text box and I'm going to resize it so that it fits nicely inside this box. So I'll make it a little bit taller, and I don't want it to be touching his picture. I am going to change the color of the text to blue, and I like the way this looks, just like this. So I'm going to select the whole box and his name and the image, and I'm going to flatten it and I'm going to duplicate it. So now I have that image twice. The next thing I'm going to do is go to images, and I'm going to do a search for paw prints. I think I'm going to just stick with these right here, and I'm going to add it to my canvas, and I am going to rotate these by 90 degrees, and I'm actually going to turn it a little bit, and I'm going to resize this so that it fits nicely in the rectangle. Okay, that looks pretty good. It's not too big. It actually looks pretty good. So now I'm going to select these paw prints, and I'm going to change the color of them to blue, and I'm going to select the whole thing, and I'm going to flatten it, and then I'm going to duplicate this. Okay, so now I am finished with this, and I am ready to click make it. Okay, so now I have my print then cut image, and boy oh boy do I wish that I could get everything printed on one sheet. I'm pretty sure that I can. I am going to change my material size to 8.5 by 14 because I do have 8.5 by 14 sublimation paper. So I'm going to move this image up, move object. I'm going to move it over here so that I can print everything at one time, especially since I do not need my Cricut to cut this out. I can cut this out myself. Okay, so I am going to click continue, and I am going to send this to my printer. I will be sending this to my Epson EcoTank 2760 series printer. I'm going to turn the add bleed off, and I'm going to turn use system dialog on. I'm going to click print, and I am going to navigate to that printer, the Epson EcoTank 2760. I'm going to click preferences, and I'm going to use my sublimation preset with the mirror on. My paper type is premium presentation paper matte. The quality is high. I keep the color settings right at color, and if you have seen the way that I set my printer settings, you will see what all of my other settings look like. I will make sure that video is linked below in the description box. I am going to click OK, and I am going to click print, and everything that I'll do from here will be back on the camera. I had to cancel my print settings because I realized that I had not changed the paper size in my printer options. So I'm going to go back to preferences. I already have a sublimation preset saved for my 8.5 by 14 paper, so I'm going to choose that. It's 8.5 by 14 sublimation mirrored, and all of my print settings are the same. If you're wondering what my print settings are, I can click this show settings button, and it'll show you what all of those settings are. The paper source is the rear paper feed. The document size is 8.5 by 14. Premium presentation paper matte. The color management is color controls. Color mode is Adobe RGB. I have high speed off and mirror image on. I'm going to close this, and I'm going to click OK. Now everything that I'll do from here will be back on the camera. I have removed the 4 rectangles from the mat, and what I'm going to do now is get the tape that came with the PYD Life Sublimation Oven, and I am going to tape this down to the bowl. Now, if you've been following me for any length of time, you know that I love the Cricut brand of heat resistant tape. But since this tape came with this oven, I am going to give it the what? Good old college try. Okay, so we're going to use this, and I'm definitely going to give you my honest opinion about it. If I don't like it, you will definitely know it. Okay, I have the dog bowl taped down. I want you to see how it's taped. I just taped it on the seam right there, and I taped it along the top. I do feel like it's smooth along the whole surface of the dog bowl. I didn't add any tape on the bottom, and I'm not, because none of my image is will be seen at the bottom. I don't know if the lighting will allow me to show you that. The shrink wrap that you'll need is the ones that open to the side. Typically when you're using shrink wrap, you're having the ones that open at the top or bottom. So this one is a little bit different. Like that. And I will put my silicone, heat resistant silicone glove on, and I'll actually put it on this hand because I'll be using the heat gun with that hand. I am going to power this heat gun on. I do not have the sublimation oven powered on yet. I'm not even going to take a chance and have both of them powered on at the same time. Maybe I can, maybe I can't, I'll never know. I am going to put the silicone glove on my left hand. Now when I get ready to, when I turn this on, this setting right here where it says high, low, and off, this just determines the level of heat. At the bottom, you'll have to twist this knob to determine the amount of heat. So you can turn it all the way to high, or you can keep it at low. The higher you turn this knob, the more heat will come out from this heat gun, okay? So I'm not going to turn it all the way to the highest temperature. I don't feel like I need that, but I will turn it up to give me some heat because I don't want cold air coming out. Have my glove. I'm going to turn the setting right here to high. See? Okay, I am going to get this powered on, and it is already set to 355 degrees, and that is the correct temperature for a pet bowl. And I need to set the time to 8 minutes. So I'm going to press the clock icon, and I'm going to change the time to 8 minutes, and I'm going to press the play button, and it'll say run, and that lets me know that it's heating up. Once it reaches the desired temperature, it will start to beep, and that's how I will know it's time to put the dog bowl in, or pet bowl. I keep saying dog bowl because I have a dog and this is for my dog, but if you don't have a dog and you're using this for a different pet, you could call it a pet bowl. Okay, it's beeping, so now I will put the pet bowl inside and get it started. And we will see. I'll speed this part up. Okay, it's beeping and letting us know that it is ready. I am going to put the glove on and get this removed. I have my Cricut heat resistant mat right here already ready. I'm going to power this off because I'm not using it for anything else tonight. And I am going to get this removed right now. I'm actually going to put this on my left hand and I'll use my right hand to get the shrink wrap removed. I have grabbed my other glove because I want to make sure you can really see this. So this is how the bowl came out, and you already know what I'm going to say. I'm going to say I love it. I love it. Look at that. Look how vibrant it is. So this is the finished product, and what am I going to say? I love it. I love it. I love the way it came out, and hopefully you do too. You can see how nice and vibrant the image is. You can tell, hopefully you could tell that I was not using the A-Sub 125 gram sublimation paper. I was using the 120 gram, which is suitable for tumblers and mugs and things like that. And I definitely think this falls into that category, and I think the ink is nice and vibrant. Once again, this is dishwasher safe. I will not have to hand wash this, and I am so pleased with how it came out. Now that it is completely cooled down, I can go ahead and add this non-slip rubber ring that goes on the bottom. And the purpose of this is just so that while your dog is, you know, eating, your pet is eating, they don't have to worry about the bowl slipping out of place, which is awesome. So I'm just going to carefully place this down. And make sure you don't put this on prior to the sublimation process, because this is rubber and it will melt. Okay. Okay, there I go with that. Now I will tell you, I love this sublimation oven. I think it was so easy to use. Just power it on, set it to the temperature, set the time, and it does the rest for you. I love the fact that it gives you those 5 beeps when it's ready. I love the fact that it beeps as soon as it's finished. And it looks like it was going to power off. I didn't pay careful attention to that, but it did look like it was going to do that. One thing I did notice when I walked behind this oven while it was powered on, I could feel the heat blowing from the back right here. Let me turn it around so you can see that. So there is like a vent here, and there was heat coming from here when I was walking behind this. So probably in the future when I'm using this, I will not be walking behind it, because that didn't happen from anywhere in the front of the oven. It did not take away any of the love I have for this sublimation oven. when I am sublimating more than one tumbler or more than one mug at a time, I'll probably be using this one because it just has one button and it is so user friendly. I cannot say enough about how much I love it. Do I still love the other sublimation oven? Yes. Do I love this one just a bit more? Also, yes. If you found this tutorial helpful, please consider liking the video, subscribing to my channel, and turning on the bell for notifications because I do upload new content every single week. Thank you so much for joining me today, and thanks for watching. Bye.